Great USAC champion, 20 car. It's bright yellow and orange. A Menard car. Tony Stewart is the leader, and that documents his climb up to the lead of the race. Buzz Calkins has now resolved his argument with Arie Luyendyk over second place. Arie Luyendyk is third, followed by Roberto Guerrero. Now, coming up next on ABC Sports, Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, Raymond Floyd, and Jim Colbert play the Senior Skins game. And then on ABC's Wide World of Sports, we head off to Bulgaria for the European Figure Skating Championship. Five-time champion Surya Bonali will try and defend her title. That's coming up next here on ABC Sports. So here at the Walt Disney World Speedway, Tony Stewart, to the approval of the crowd of over 50,000 here, is leading by now 4 seconds, Jackaroo.
Well, the major concern for Stewart and his Menards team is fuel conservation. All of the Menard cars running that V6 Menard configuration all week were eating up an awful lot of fuel. We've monitored radio transmissions with all 3 drivers. They were told before the race, you're going to have to conserve fuel. It's awfully tough, guys, to conserve fuel when you're running up front, isn't it?
8 cars on the lead lap, you bet it is. 2 cars out, that's Hearn and Kudrave. Buddy Lazier, after they made repairs, got back into the fight, but he's 16th and 6 laps behind the leader.
And just so everybody will know, in order for Tony Stewart to do better on the mileage, the team will be telling him 2 things. Shift into a higher gear. They have 2 gears to race with there. Plus, he'll have to cut back the boost on that thing a little bit, Paul. So what he's probably trying to do now is he would like to keep the boost up in order to stay ahead, like Jack Arute said, but he's going to have to cut it back in order to make fuel mileage and make only 2-stop race pretty soon.
A whirlwind around this track. Stewart just overhauled Michele Alboreto, who is running in 8th place in the 33 Scandia car. And in about 5 laps, according to Jack Arute, we should see the leader of the race make his first turn down into the pits. And part of the concern, as I mentioned, was how will this mixed group of drivers perform on the first couple of laps? Well, they performed perfectly. The next question is, how will the pit stops go? Because, again, brand new series, many new teams and cars and combinations. That'll be an interesting thing to watch as they come up. Gary Gerald?
Quick report on Johnny Parsons Jr. JP is in the pits. He had contact with another car, apparently bent some of the right front suspension. So that's what the crew's working on now. He hopes to still get more laps. Obviously, a giant uphill battle for Johnny Parsons.
And now, as you can see, the lead is closed down, and Calkins has pulled in right behind Stewart. There he is, that bright red car behind the yellow and orange car, the number 20 of Stewart.
Hey, Bobby, that might be what you were talking about earlier, that he's had to turn that boost down, trying to conserve fuel to get to that window of those laps. So if this race goes all green, he only has to make 2 stops.
Danny, both of us know how much power those Menards have. We also know in order to make power, you use a lot of fuel. And it's a compromise, right?
That's right. And, of course, we're seeing a V8 following that V6, and that V6 does suck down a lot of fuel.
Of course, Bobby, that's something that's totally outside of Stewart's discipline. He's never really had to run fuel conservation.
No, you know, IndyCar racing isn't as simple as people think sometimes. It's going to be kind of rough because there's a lot to think about. Not only does the driver have to do a little bit of thinking, it doesn't just stand on it all the time, but the crew, they have to learn to work with the crew an awful lot. There's a lot of work going on in the pits.
Well, in traffic, Stewart is able to pull out a little bit ahead, to lead back to 1.4, and then on the next line, they have different measuring points all around the track. Calkins is right back at him. But now the report is that Calkins has slowed down a bit. Look at that, as he's dropped back off the leader of the race.
You know, I just have to mention one thing about the tires of these. Sometimes the differences in the speed. The tires here have to be what most people would call really hard tires. These things are pulling 5 and sometimes probably 6 G's in the corner. This track, averaging like in qualifications 181 with 3 turns that we've all seen, you got a tremendous amount of side thrust, and it's really hard on the tire. So when we see the speeds change a lot, often it's the tires that they're having problems settling into.
Tony Stewart still has the lead of the race, 24-year-old from Rushville, Indiana. Champion in USAC sprints, silver crowns, midgets, 95, 94. Guy's got a great racing background. Buzz Calkins sitting there in second place, sixth in the 95 Indy Lights points. Gary Gerald.
Just talked with Laurie Garish, a longtime Indy veteran who knows how to manage teams well, and Ken Anderson, their engineer. We asked him, how are you trying to play it? They said, specifically, we told him to back off, play it conservative, avoid any trouble, go racing in the second half of the race.
Now, Laurie Garish was my chief mechanic when I won Indianapolis in 1981. They've really got a good mechanic there.
And now Calkins makes his move on Stewart. And boy, he just comes around him. Now, you have to figure maybe some of that is Stewart driving a very heads-up race.
Now, Stewart wasn't ready for that. Look at him. He slowed down, losing ground still. He wasn't ready for it. He's had to cut back because of the fuel.
I think that he probably got a fuel thing, and they said, you got to get back. Don't forget, they're trying to get to a certain lap. Because if they don't get to that lap, whatever it is in their book, they get to that certain lap, they're going to have to make 3 pit stops. And they only want to make 2, so they'd rather give up the lead, lose a little ground, and try to get it back on a full tank.
And let's keep one other thing in mind. Now, when this race started, all the game planning was that they're going to have a lot of yellows, and so far we've hardly seen any yellows, so that means more fuel being used.
All right, so Stewart into the pits, Jackaroo.
And Paul, this is a first for Tony Stewart, making a pit stop and taking out fuel. Now you see the cardboard sign. There's a cardboard sign being hung out. Simple things here in IRL. Reset the fuel. Didn't have time to make a board up. Use the cardboard.
Of course, that means to reset the meter on the dash. It tells them how much fuel you've used.
17.7 seconds. A little bit of a difficulty getting it back into gear.
And so for everybody back out there at home, you get to reset the fuel is you've got a fuel meter that counts off how much fuel you're using. He had to reset it to 0 so that they know what they're consuming.
We expect Buzz Calkins in within 3 laps for his first pit stop. And Bobby Unser, we've been tracking both of these guys coming out of the pits for Stewart. That's something that's usually pretty tough for a new guy, isn't it?
But
the clutches aren't quite as easy as you would think.
No, but you know, you better light the tires up than you are to burn the clutch or let it slip. And he did a good job on that. The problem is there's sequential boxes. The drivers are normally used to coming in, kicking it into neutral, waiting to get braking leaves and putting it into first. These guys, if you watch what Buddy Lazier did a little while ago, have to go from 6th to 5th to 4th to 3rd and so on.
So Buzz Calkins makes his first turn in for a pit stop, and he's very careful about it, Gary Gerald.
He's in the very first pit box. The Bradley Motorsports crew goes to work. Here's another rookie driver, peels off a tear-off, watching to see if everything's routine. Keep in mind now, being in the first pit box, he has to adhere to an 80-mile-per-hour speed limit. How high is the adrenaline running? We're about to find out as he makes his move. We've got him at 16.2 seconds.
So now watching carefully for that 80-mile-an-hour speed limit, and he has to do it by his tachometer. He has no indicator outside the car to tell him how fast he's going as Ari Leyendijk comes in.
Well, they don't, Paul, but what they do have is they have a button on the steering wheel that they set to 80 miles an hour, whatever gear they have in there. They hold that button on, and it won't allow the engine to run over 80 miles an hour.
So Ari Leyendijk. Whoops, he stalls the engine. Leyendijk stalls the engine, and they didn't have the starter engine right sitting there over the wall. That's one of those little fine points of learning how to do these stops effectively.
Boy, it is. And, you know, this is time that you just can't buy. You can't regain that sometimes. That's a tough way to spend your time right there.
Especially on a 1 mile oval.
Having a hard time getting it into gear. Well, Danny, as you know, another lap, they come by and lap him just right now on 1 mile oval.
There's got to be a gearbox problem now, and it's serious for Ari Leyendijk. So the 54 car, there it is, silver and black. That's Robbie Buell as he takes over the lead of the race. Michele Alboreto sits now in second, and Hamilton is in third as Buell comes in, and we're cycling through the pit stops.